How y'all doing, guys? How long you been on? Oh, John's a great guy.
Yeah, he was telling us all about that.
I got hired December 22nd of 1981. Yeah, but by then, I worked the street for 8 to 17 and a half years. 10 as a uniform patrol officer, 7 as a uniform patrol sergeant.
That's also the downfall of law enforcement, though.
That's true.
Oh, I think you're right. 2 young single cops, get the
You know, one of the best things about police having body cams now, pretty much universally, is that old concept of professional courtesy, where police officers or former police officers get out of trouble in a way that we don't get to do because of, quote, professional courtesy. That's exposed. They can no longer get away with that. From the Florida Times Union, St. Johns County ex-sheriff, quote, used marijuana in a car. Here's why he wasn't arrested. I got the body cam. Let's take a look. But first, thank you to my partner in today's video, PDS Debt. We all know that everything is costing more these days, from food to gas to ammo and more. And many people are at the point where they're just buying the same things they always do, but they have to put some of it on credit cards just to get by. That can add up, and suddenly you have more debt than you know what to do with. And credit card debt sucks. I get it. I've had it. It can really weigh on you and feel like you can never get out from under it. PDS Debt can help. PDS Debt has customized 0% interest options for anyone struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills. PDS Debt is giving my viewers a free debt savings analysis just for completing a 30-second online debt assessment at pdsdebt.com/civil. You'll receive a full breakdown on how to save on interest each month and the quickest way to take care of your debt. Everyone with over $10,000 in debt qualifies, and there's no minimum credit score required. PDS Debt rolls all your payments into one low 0% interest monthly payment. You can save thousands in interests and fees. If you're making payments every month on your debt, but your balances just don't seem to go down, this program may be for you. So take advantage of PDS Debt's free debt analysis just for my viewers. Go to pdsdebt.com/civil to complete the quick and easy debt assessment. Thanks, PDS Debt. Now let's get back to it. David Shore, who served as sheriff from 2004 to 2021, was pulled over at Pope Road and A1A Beach Boulevard at about 9 p.m. after failing to stop at a red light before making a turn. During this traffic stop, the officer observed pieces of marijuana on the vehicle's center console while collecting Shore's driver information. The officer noted in his report that there was a, quote, very strong odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle. Due to the smell, the officer had Shore exit the vehicle and conducted a probable cause search. The officer found 8 grams of marijuana in the form of 3 marijuana cigarettes in the vehicle, along with 2 firearms. Shore did have a valid medical marijuana license at the time of the traffic stop. However, the substance was not in its original packaging and had been used inside the vehicle, according to the report. The officer confiscated the marijuana to submit as evidence for destruction. David was given a verbal warning for both the traffic violation and having the marijuana in the vehicle, the officer wrote in the report. Shore was then subsequently released from the scene.
God bless you. I'll make it work. Okay. Did you hang out with us for a minute?
15 years.
Yeah. Wow. All right, I'll be right back, okay? Just hang out with this officer.
Okay, buddy. How you doing?
Good, and you?
You know, when I started in 1981, so we were all single guys. We worked Christmas Eve for the guys. They still do it, I think.
Yeah, we still do.
Do you?
Yes, sir.
That's kind of that's a nice thing. You get a guy with 2 small kids, you know.
All right, sir. Could you do me a favor? Just come out here, please. Sure. Does he know?
David Shore.
What?
Yeah,
I know, but does he know?
Yeah, when he pulled out in front of us, back here on Pope Road, you could smell the weed.
Guys?
Yeah, what's up, man?
How y'all doing?
Come over here to the side of my car. My car don't fit. You know, if you just want to hang out right there. All right. I see the weed shake sitting in the center console. Okay. And I smell the weed. You smelled it when we were behind you. Okay. I'm not worried about weed.
Yeah, I've got a medical.
You do? Were you smoking in the car?
I did earlier.
Were you smoking when you were on Pope Road? Because we smelled it very, very heavy behind the car.
I was on the phone. I did earlier.
Well, I'm not worried about weed. Unless you got pounds of weed in that car, I do not worry about it. But I am just going to search the car real quick, make sure there's nothing else. You said there's 2 firearms underneath the front seat?
Yeah, 2
Okay,
firearms.
other than that, nothing else illegal in the car?
No.
A couple silly questions I'm going to ask you, okay? Again, this is the same stuff I do on all of my traffic stops, okay? There's no cocaine in the car?
Oh God.
No heroin?
No God.
No LSD, ecstasy,
nothing.
pills, nothing, right? Okay. Alrighty. You don't have anything illegal on you? Any weed on you? Nothing?
No, I don't have any.
Is there any weed in you?
I think there may be a couple of joints and a cigarette.
Okay, that works. Just do me a favor, turn around for me. I'm just going to search you real quick and make sure
Yes,
you
sir.
okay? Try to get some air. Hold on a second. I did for like 13 years. My wife made me.
Conference.
And right here is one of the things that you see in these types of videos. The police officers mute their body cams. They turn the audio off so that they can have a private discussion that you will not be able to hear as a member of the taxpaying public, that you will not be able to see on YouTube. They're having a private discussion on your tax dollar just because they want to hide what they're saying from you or from other investigators or from prosecutors. Who knows? But that's what's going on here. We have no audio for this portion.
This is what I do on everything. I want to
I
stay
appreciate
consistent.
you.
You know what I mean?
I support you 100%.
I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm not trying to like that.
You've been great.
I want to stay consistent.
And I'm, like I said, I'm in perfect shape.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm not worried about it. Like I said, I'm just going to do my thing real quick.
Absolutely.
Okay. You guys just hang out with me. Come on, man.
How y'all doing, guys? How long you been on?
About 6 months.
No kidding. Where'd you go to the academy?
St. John's.
Did you love it?
It was an experience. It was a good experience.
You love this stuff.
I do love this.
I know, man.
It was a lot of fun.
I got hired December 22nd of 1981.
1981.
Yeah. And we had nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, one blue light, had a little federal radio,
Yeah.
and then 2 buttons for the lights inside.
Yeah, that's what our main instructor in the academy, Commander Donlin.
Oh, John's a great guy.
Yeah, he was telling us all about that.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he was probably one of my favorite instructors over there.
Yeah, John's got a lot of expertise. He's a great trainer.
He's a great guy.
Great guy all around.
I think he was probably my favorite instructor there,
Yeah.
honestly.
What about who's the other one? Oh God, who's the other guy teaching that? Brian Harrington. Is he teaching?
Yeah, he's the high liability.
Was he
coordinator.
good? He's a smart
He's
guy.
real good. Yeah,
He's
Harrington was real cool too.
He's a smart guy.
Harrington was real cool.
Yeah, Harrington's a smart guy.
Yeah, he was he oversees like all the high liability stuff.
Right.
So he was like the range master, the track master, and all that stuff for
Right.
driving and shooting and everything like that. He was real cool too.
Good.
Him and Donlin were great.
Yeah, they're good guys.
It was a great academy. And he went through it too.
The same one?
Same one, yes, sir.
We think it was. I think it was about 400 hours. Well, how many hours is it now?
770.
Okay, I think it was 420.
Yeah.
I think it was 420.
Yeah, they must have added some to it. 'Cause I know they gave us like at the river we had like spring break and everything like that
Right.
off like a regular college would.
Right.
So it kind of stretched it out a lot. Like so the academy, it could have been like 5 months, but with all the days off they were giving us, like spring break and all that stuff, it turned it into like 6 months, 6.5 months.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys, we've come a long way. Man, I tell you, I actually never, when I was with the city, I was involved with getting the computers in the cars, the first ones,
Yeah.
but I never had to work with them in a car.
The city, like,
City of
St.
St.
Augustine.
really?
Yeah, I worked there for 24 years.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I was a lieutenant at the time, and they were just coming on with the computers, and all they had was cell towers,
Yeah.
And I got involved in that, but by then I worked the street for 8 to 17 and a half years. 10 as a uniform patrol officer, 7 as a uniform patrol sergeant.
As you watch this, I want you to have heard this statement first. So this is a statement from the St. Augustine Beach Police Department responding to the media about what occurred or what did not occur during this interaction. Upon approaching the vehicle, officers saw what they believed to be marijuana visible inside the vehicle. A roadside investigation and interview were conducted by officers. No driver impairment was detected during the interview/investigation. The driver of the vehicle, David Shore, was subsequently released. The major law that could be broken here is driving while impaired, and they, covering their own asses, claim to have conducted a thorough investigation, adhering to agency policies and standard operating procedures. You've listened to this conversation before. You'll hear a little bit more of it. Tell me where this thorough investigation occurred.
But then I made lieutenant. I came off the road, got the computers in, and then I went up.
Yeah.
And I never worked. I mean, I couldn't get in that. I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And now you guys wouldn't know what to do without it.
No.
Back in the days, we had to go get the Polaroids and cut the shit out on the middle thing to make the lineups. Now you can just hit a button, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's real nice in there. It's a lot of technology just makes it a lot easier.
That's also the downfall of law enforcement, though.
That's true.
Oh, I think you're right.
Cell tower goes down, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. AT&T goes down, you're done.
Yep.
I worked, and when we first started, we actually started before the sheriff's office because they didn't have the coverage, the tower coverage. So we went to computers first, but we didn't know. It was the early days. The software wasn't worth a shit. It was totally different now.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, pretty
Now,
much
I'll tell you the one
everything.
thing we did do right though. Even though you're right, Wi-Fi and all that shit, we actually got that new radio system here, and that is remarkable because before we had that, it was a piece of shit. Radio. I mean, because it didn't work half the time.
Yeah. No, I believe it. Yeah, now everything's all digital, all electronic and everything. You were retired for about
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
What have you been doing since?
The first year I did nothing. Now we're building a new house in the city, St. Augustine Beach, and building a house. Got 2 beautiful grandchildren. I'm doing some consulting. I got back. The first year I didn't do shit, and I'm telling you, don't do that when you retire. Because you guys are going 150 miles an hour, all the time. And you retire. So the first year I didn't do shit, miserable. So I got into consulting.
You know what this reminds me of? This is like when you're in court and you and the other lawyers get invited back into a federal judge's private chambers. And you go back there and the judge is regaling you with, stories from the past. And you're just sitting there yes, Your Honor, yes, sir, yes, Your Honor, and basically kissing their ass. But it's also interesting at the same time. That seems is what's going on here, rather than they have a suspect, a guy who's suspected of criminal activity. They have somebody that they look up to, and they're in the process of learning from, and they're in awe about it.
Just go real low, and but you get to pick who you want to work with.
Yeah.
You guys don't get to do that. You get to. You work with your buddies, but you don't get to pick who you're going to deal with on the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now you get to, when you retire, you get to do that.
So you're building a house now?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And once again, the audio has been muted. Now, I don't know whether the officers turned off, hit the mute here, or whether before this footage was produced, they redacted part of it. Which begs the question of whether or not they would make those same redactions for us, for you or I. And also, what are they talking about? They're talking about being a police officer, essentially. So what about being a police officer do they not want the public to hear?
It's got a lot of nice houses in there.
Huh?
You got a lot of nice houses in there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful neighborhood. There's no HOA.
Nope.
It's never flooded.
Really?
And the people, there's been people that have lived there over 35 years and never had it flood.
That's insane. I never knew that. I just kind of assumed, like, I know Treasure Beach floods really bad.
That's because it's on the
Oh,
canals
It's
and
probably
shit.
the intercoastal.
And I'm going to tell you though, the last couple of, when we have these hurricanes, like this weekend, everything floods. It wasn't like that years ago. I mean, development and a lot of other things, I guess. You guys married, single?
I'm single.
Right, you single?
Yeah, I'm not married. What about you, Officer Guy?
Not married.
You haven't had that special lady yet?
Two single guys?
Two single guys.
Two young single cops? Get the fuck.
I don't got time much to do anything other than work and sleep.
Yeah.
Sleeping, I tell you, that takes up a lot of my time.
See, I never had to work 12-hour shifts either.
Really?
No.
What
We
kind of
were
shifts?
8-hour shifts.
Really? Was
Yeah.
it like 5/8s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like working like 4 or 3/12s better
Right.
than 5/8s. I'd rather be here longer in one day and less days than like shorter in a day or 4 days throughout the week, you know? Because sometimes those weeks that you're only working like, what is it, the 2-day weeks? Those are nice.
Well, if you look at it, half the years you're off and the other half you're not.
Yeah?
That's pretty good.
No, it's definitely a good gig.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm really starting to like shift work too. So
Oh,
I'm starting to like it.
I loved it. You can get used to it.
Oh yeah. I wasn't sure how I was gonna adjust to it coming to this because I worked at Publix before this, and
You get used to it.
yeah, you get used to it real quick.
Some guy, every once in a while, even a young guy just can't sleep during the day.
Yeah.
I never had that problem. Most guys don't.
Alright, sir. So like I said, I'm not worried about weed, okay? There's those 3 joints in there. So they're not in the right container, so I do gotta take them, alright?
Oh, no worries, man.
But,
No worries. I appreciate it.
not writing you no
And I
tickets.
apologize. I was on the phone,
Yes, sir.
and I got stopped about 8 months ago. Same thing. I was on the phone. But I was driving fine. I ran the light.
Yeah.
But my drive was fine. I don't remember running it, but I
Yes,
was
sir.
on the phone.
So there's a ton of weed shake and little pieces of weed all throughout the car. So
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
sure
I'll-
you know, I'm just going to tell you because I'm going through the same steps, okay? But even with the medical marijuana card, you can't smoke it or have it in your car unless it's an original
Yeah,
packaging.
I
right?
thought about that.
So,
I
Just keep it at the
appreciate
house, keep it out of the car.
I appreciate
Definitely
it.
vacuum it out.
Yeah.
And put some air fresheners in it,
I
alright?
tell you, there's a guy when I went to when it was recommended by my by the VA and the Mayo Clinic. Actually, the Mayo Clinic recommended it, and I was going through it, and I went to this place to get it, and I ran into retired cops,
Really?
local guy.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Alright, let me just do this really quick,
All right,
and then so
man.
I can get you out of here,
appreciate
okay?
being out of here, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't.
How
do
long
that.
did you graduate?
I graduated in June.
You've been around.
Last June.
Okay, you came right after.
Yeah.
You just graduated.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So he was.
Could
In
have
that,
been you guys.
no. Yeah, he must have been in the one directly after me then.
A sharp guy.
Where's he applying at?
I think he has some.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Donlin, I talked to John, and John said he's sharp.
Yeah.
I met him a couple times. He's a young guy, 24, 5, got his degree from Flagler.
Okay.
Came down here to go to college, squared away guy.
Probably same time. I had my driver. Yeah, there was a few of our guys in our class too that had their degrees from Flagler specifically.
But you don't have your college degree, right?
I didn't go to college, no.
Yeah, but you got so much time.
I spend the wee hours in the morning on night shift trying to get through it.
That's what I did it.
Alright, here's
Thank
your
you, brother. I
stuff
appreciate
back,
you.
alright? Like I said, just try to get back
Hey,
in.
man, I appreciate it. I do,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I do. And thanks so much for being out here, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Holiday time, and y'all. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how you guys do your job. Just be careful.
Absolutely.
You know, we had 50, 67,000 people here when I started.
Yes, sir.
And now forget about the people that live here, the people coming through.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all be safe.
Yes, sir. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
guys.
I don't know about you, but I did not see any investigation there on whether this guy was impaired, much less a thorough investigation. They didn't ask him any questions pertaining to impairment. They didn't ask him to perform any field sobriety tests. In fact, the guy who is doing the investigation is just searching the car and finds things that apparently are illegal under Florida law, even though marijuana can be legal under certain circumstances. What they found in his car was not like properly marked or used pursuant to Florida law from what I can tell reading the article and watching this video. They didn't cite him for any of that, and they didn't even investigate him for the presumably more serious charge of driving while impaired. They just had this sort of peer session where they just stood around and congratulated each other and talked about the old days and shook hands, and it went down way differently than had you or I gotten pulled over under the same circumstances. I mean, how many dudes are sitting in prison right now who had marijuana in their car and were pulled over by cops and were treated in a much different way? So as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Remember, freedom is scary. Deal with it.